amazing personalities with us for these 10 days who will be sharing their experiences, their knowledge, and their learning. So the first person in that list of super women we have together with us, Professor Dr. Jayati Roy. She's a founder of XAR, Extra Mile Advanced Resources, a consultancy that is dedicated in bringing social changes through learning, education, and leadership. After spending almost 3 decades in academics and higher education, with her background in legal, academics, and corporate, she decided to venture into corporate training. And going for the qualification, she has a PhD from Open University, UK. My God, itni padhai kaise ho jati hai, ma'am? LLB Honors, University of London, Masters in Education, TESOL from State University of New York, Buffalo, BA Honors, University of Malaya, Diploma in French University, Caen, France. She has additional qualifications like hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, NLP to help her clients, of course. She is a certified trainer with qualification in public speaking. Being writing and poetry her passion. She already has published 6 books. You can also find the ebooks. And her mantra is you have to become extraordinary to get extraordinary results. And she strives to live it. Well, when going through all these things, I can very much say that she is a reflection of our today's topic. Or I can say we have a living example of today's topic, that is laugh, learn, there was a long list, and live. That is key to happiness. I cannot wait to hear from you, ma'am. So over to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay. Well, before I start, let me say, every time I come for a live show, I decide to have a haircut. And somehow my haircut becomes shorter than normal. So when I see all you ladies with long hair, you know how envious I am of you. So on that note, so let me begin. Shall I share my screen? Yes?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Are you, why is it that I cannot share screen? Host disabled, participant screen sharing. Why is that so?
You can.
Yes. You
Shabana,
can now, ma'am.
You have to make me co-host.
you are. Please share.
Okay. Thank you. So, share. I have to go to my... I always have help. So today I don't have that much help. So here I am. Is this good? Or shall I make the screen bigger?
It is very much visible, ma'am.
Okay. I don't have to make full screen, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay, good.
We will do it at our end.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, you can do it in your end. Please do. Okay. I've got my Jag with me. She's my right hand. Okay, here that's laugh, learn, and live. Why did I come up with this topic? Because, you know, once I've always been a trainer for many years, and I find that now, especially with all that's happening in this world with COVID, etc., I don't have to get into it. We have entered into a period of depression, inverted commas. All of us have some sort of challenge. I hope you will agree with me. So for me, laughter is not laughter. I am using this word laughter to tell you that unless there is happiness, there is no laughter. I hope you agree. So laughter for me is the front line to what should actually happen. And learning has been my sole area of survival. Every time, I don't know, it was my karma or what, I went on to something new, I started at zero. So I always had to learn and learn and learn. And I remember my mother in those days, in the 50s, in the 60s, she would look at the black and white TV, take out her little notebook and copy down the carrot cake and whatever recipes. So I have that memory that, you know, unless we learn in whatever way, wherever we are, we will not move. My father was from India, of course, East Bengal. Is today Bangladesh, where we have no more home, unfortunately. But our people are all over the world. So my 3 children live all over the world. But never mind about that. But my father started zero, ground zero. That's why learning is so important. I found his Pitman's books on shorthand, on typewriting. I learned keyboarding from his little Underwood typewriter, ASDF, LKJ, you know, I thrashed the thing. So I learned from my father that learning, unless you learn, there's no way to move on. And you must be humble enough to always go back to zero to learn. And I will share some stories if you agree with me and you allow me to. I love stories, so everywhere I'll bring in some personal stories. It's not about me, but maybe because of my experiences. I'm going to be 76, all right? So I think I have got enough bags of stories. And why? Because unless you learn to be happy, unless you're willing to open your mind, Jnana Yoga, as we say, chapter 2, I think, of the Bhagavad Gita. We are all karma yogis, but Jnana Yoga is the concept of the path of learning. Unless we have that, we cannot live. So that is my personal philosophy. So let me move on. So why laugh? That's me somewhere laughing. I took it on. And for you to laugh too, you must forget the world. You know, forget the world. Watch movies where you can laugh. I was in Germany and I watched Pathan, right? You can imagine, and I laughed. I said, and you imagine my daughter was shocked. She said, is this Germany? People were whistling and shouting even when Salman Khan came. So I said, you see, they're happy. They don't care where they are. So forget your environment. Forget how you look. Whether you have makeup or not, or lipstick or not, just be happy. All right? So this is my philosophy. And I said, always laugh when you can. It is cheap medicine, said Lord Byron. It is medicine. If you have a notebook, please copy down. I'm a teacher. I always tell my students that. Make a note on your mobile, maybe. And I want to tell you a story about what do we learn from it. Why when you laugh, is it cheap medicine? I'll tell you a story about Lata. Lata was my maid for 10 years. And you know, when I had to go away, I asked her to work for one of my good friends. And I remember Lata. I had 3 dogs, and one of my dog was at the end was paralyzed. And this dog is to come into the house. He used to sleep beside me, but suddenly you find that he did his business there. Before he could go to the garden, he would urinate. And what would Lata do? She had all the work to do because my husband had 3 operations. He fell down, he broke his hip, blah, blah, blah. But you know what Lata would do? She would laugh. Rexy boy, you stupid boy. And I said, my God, I could strangle the fellow. I have deadlines, I have to go, I have work. And here she's saying, Rexy boy, stupid boy. And she would take some tissue and clear up the mess. They carry him out and put him out. And I said, oh my God, we cannot but help learning from everybody around us. So this is Lata's story. Even when my husband was ill, you know, at one time I had to put Pampers for him. She would go and say, what, sir? Why do you need Pampers? And she would laugh. He would say, go away, Lata, go away. So you see, the entire stress of that situation is diffused because we are able to laugh. Okay? And we have Maurice Chevalier. I mean, I'm very French biased. Only recently I've been forced into the German bias. I studied in France. I actually met my husband there. He said, you don't stop laughing because you grow older. You grow older because you stop laughing. We are using the word laughing there in a metaphorical sense.
Right.
You know, of course, we don't say laugh to yourself, then they say you need to go to the mental asylum, you know. You get onto a bus and you see someone smiling, he said, then you say, oh, you know, gone case, he's finished. We are not saying that. You don't stop laughing because people have become so fed up with life sometimes, so immersed in the problems. So as an NLP coach, I said, always look at positivity. So, okay, laughter can be contagious. When I do a face-to-face training, I tell everybody, turn around and smile. Can all of you smile? Just smile now. All right, or just laugh. I see many of you smiling already. There's no reason, right? Sometimes I get into a lift and I smile at somebody. Most people are so serious because, you know, they're rushing to work. So I get in and I smile and they kind of nod, you know, they smile.
Yeah.
So it is contagious. Remember, if you walk into a room and your boss is angry, you can even get the vibes. So if a person smiles, you know that laughter there is contagious. So why laugh? I have indirectly spoken about that. For me, sometimes you need to laugh at yourself. That's humility. The higher you go up in life, in position, you find that it's so hard to laugh at yourself. That's humility. I mean, our religions, whatever religion teaches us to cut our egos. But I think that ego cannot be cut unless you learn humility. So I am again using this word laughter in a metaphorical sense, you know. And in Malaysia, I just picked this up recently. It says that, I don't know the statistics for India, but for Malaysia, we are entering an aging society. And where senior citizens aged 50, 65 and above now stand at 7.3% of 31 million people. I mean, we're nothing compared to 1.3 billion in India. And it said we are supposed to move into a super aged society in 21 years. So that's why many people are going into setting up nursing homes and home for the aged because they're going to be making big money there. But for me, as a social scientist, what does it involve? You know, it is said that people who live in nursing homes have shorter lives than people who live with families. Why? Because of a lot of other factors which we don't want to get into today, right? So laughter actually brings bonding and friendship. Walk into a restaurant where old friends have gone together. I recently went with my alumni from the university. You know, we were all laughing and talking and, you know, we forgot, you know, ourselves. So I think laughter brings us together. You agree, right? You can put your comments in the chat, okay? So now, laughter removes negative energy. Surround yourself with positive people. If you have somebody in the family who is always, you don't have this, I don't have this, I have this ache, I have that pain. I also have aches and pain. So what? I know what to do, right? I don't have enough money, you're spending too much. So I said, if an organ is bad, cut that organ off. Try to save it, but if you can't, get it off. Become a surgeon. So remove negative energy in that way. And I say laughter, the best medicine. I've always read the Reader's Digest. I don't know if you know, for 30, 40 years. They have a section that says laughter is the best medicine. So if you have a little notebook, please copy down all those little funny sessions where people say funny things and then you laugh, right? maybe you can take a few minutes to reflect on how many people in your family or those who are close to you actually smile or laugh or make funny jokes, right? Let me tell you, just before I just came back from Germany. Actually, when I got Shabana's invite, I was halfway through. I was in Doha. You know, I had a long break, and I said, okay, I have got Wi-Fi here. Let me check WhatsApp. And there was Shabana saying, Prof, would you like to speak in our platform between 1st and 10th? And I said, oh my God, here I am. And, you know, I'm a communicator. Immediately, I sent her a picture of me sitting there in the family room, blah, blah, blah. And the day before, I was still celebrating my birthday. My daughter had taken me to a French restaurant in Germany. And she was pregnant. She was just allowed to walk. You know, imagine her stomach was so big. And she tried to come out between two tables, and she turned around. Her stomach was going to hit the two champagne glasses of the table at the side. And I told the couple there, please be careful. We're going to have an accident caused by a protruding stomach with a baby. And that, you know, Germans are serious, right? He was shocked. The mother talking about the daughter with the big stomach eating wine glasses. So you know, and then I made some jokes. He said, no worries, no worries. They quickly moved the glasses. When they moved out, you know, he turned around and said, ma'am, don't stop being funny. I said, wow, I was just being natural. So I told Deepa, you be careful of your stomach wherever you go. We don't want any liabilities because of that stomach. I'm waiting for the baby who is going to be born on Friday, by the way. So laughter is the best medicine. So if you find that you have lots of aches and pains, find out if you are laughing. So laughter helps us release good hormones actually. It is the same effect that sugar and sweets have on you. Do you know, I'm speaking to an Indian crowd from Malaysia. I'm very Indian. Over the years, I realized that when they have this, you know, if you have an arranged marriage or you come to see the bride, I don't know what you call it in Hindi. My Hindi is bad. What do you serve? Even in South India, North India, you put jalebis, laddu, mishti and all, and you serve them sweets, right? We always say when somebody comes new in your house, you serve sweets, right? Is that a tradition in India? Yes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Why? Do you know the Indians are smart? Immediately the good endorphins are secreted. And then you forget to see that the bride is cockeyed. Or you forget to see the guy is slightly bald. Okay. So what happens? You feel good. Now, if you have training, I've seen on the training tables, they put sweets. Why do you put sweets on the training table? I've been training for 30 years, right? The minute they take sweets, the endorphins are secreted. And you are now in a happy state. You are not so bothered. Whatever the trainer says, you laugh and you're happy. Oh, yeah, I need that. By the way, you have not taken any sweets from me this morning. Okay? Right. So endorphins actually are chemicals produced naturally by the nervous system in your brain, and they are actually called feel-good chemicals. So now if you are going into a nervous situation, have chocolates in your pocket, give them chocolates. So this helps you relieve pain, reduce stress, and improve your mood. That's me in one of my crazy moods. So I'm telling you that I love being who I am. All right. So now happiness actually is laughter and happiness come together. And children can benefit from laughter. If you have children who are stressed up and whatever, watch a comedy film or whatever, and then you get that sense of euphoria. Yeah. So what triggers endorphins that release a little technicality that, by the way, is Malaysia with our Twin Towers. So these are the different ways in which endorphins are triggered. Not just sit and laugh like that. Maybe over food, when you feel good running. So I think everybody must have a period of going out and walking and jogging. All right. Otherwise, you find that endorphins are not really pleased. I had a teaching stint with young children at one period, and I see that if you have no laughter without happiness, do the children look happy? Yeah. So I think they actually told me, Prof, you teach adults, you cannot, because there was a lady who had left and they were short of a teacher in the Cambridge Center. I said, no problem. I'm a teacher trainer, so I can work with them. And I tell you, I had the best fun with them. So I made them draw. We had storytelling, and using the same basis, we did comprehension, then we did listening. And then, the next time we went, they said, teacher, can we have story again? I said, no stories all the time, right? And so here you find them really happy with me. Okay, so I said a little bit of, I don't know how we're doing for time, but happiness is a result of primary signaling chemicals, serotonin, dopamine, endorphins, oxytocin, right? So there is a link also with our physiological state. All right. It is just not you laugh because there is no reaction. So there is again Rajvin, who always talks to me about laughter yoga. I have not been a part of that, but for me, I look at laughter holistically. Okay. I'm also very lucky that I'm invited by Rajvin to speak on her platform. She's an unbelievable person and soul. Okay. So now next section is learn. Let me move on. So to learn, you have to unlearn and relearn.
Right.
Yes. My PhD is in open and distance learning. I presented papers in IGNO in Delhi about 30 years ago. And to do this, I had to unlearn. 30 years ago, people told me, why do you want to learn? Distance learning is a con, you cannot rely. This is not a platform. Distance learning is not for normal people. I have an LLB from the University of London, and when I was in New York doing my master's with my children, I wanted to stay back in the US. So I said, maybe I can do my bar exams in New York. And the New York bar told me that they did not want to recognize my University of London law degree, second class upper, because it was not at a distance, because I had no face-to-face class time. And when the pandemic came, who do you think had the biggest laugh? Jayati Roy. Because overnight, everybody was talking about online learning and taking shortcuts, taking their old modules, which were for face-to-face, and converting them to online learning, which was not the right pedagogical approach. We don't go into that, but that's how I'm always passionate about learning. All right. So Buddha said, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And I always say this, right? When the time is right, things happen. So now let's go on to live. How do you want to live? Whatever it is, we should find a way to live our lives. Some pictures of me training here, some of my students from overseas. Steve Jobs, I'll piggyback on him here. He said, your time is limited, so don't waste living someone else's life. We all live somebody else's life. I live my children's life. I live my husband's life. I live my boss's life. We do things for everybody, and then final thing is little bit for ourselves. Mothers give food to everybody, then eat the balance. Right? True or not? If there is something left, we eat. But looking at the philosophy of your life, if you are going to think about you as a person, where do you fit in your goal plan for your own life? I have read about Steve Jobs and how he was very taken up by Paramahamsa Yogananda's book, our autobiography of a yogi. If you have not read it, please read it. It's actually recommended text in most of the courses in the United States for courses in philosophy and theology. And I think, you know, he also, in spite of his character, he was also much influenced by Hindu philosophy that way. So because of what he said, let me go back. There are 3 questions we can ask. Don't waste your life by living somebody else's life. So question number 1, you can write this down, put it on your mobile now, whatever. What matters truly in your life? Take a minute. What is most important in your life? You can shut your eyes and just immediately say, what is most important? So, if you were to live today as though it's your last day in your life, sorry, I mean, this is a bit melancholic. What if today were the last day? Would you do what you are doing? Steve Jobs says, if you keep on doing this, then change it. Our failures, our fears, and our pride all fade away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. If we are to hear today, God forbid, we have some terminal disease, you will scramble to find out what's going to happen, what you have to do. Suddenly I realized, my God, I'm 70 something. You know, I then realized I don't have my title deed to my houses. What if I die? Nobody will know what's my bank account. You know, they won't. This reminds me of a Bengali movie I recently saw, right? But what do I do? So I said, no, I have to go to my lawyers. I have to go and get my title deeds, my car registration. Everything is filed now so that if I disappear, you can just take that file and say, this is what I have. So that is looking at the administrative part of my life. But in your case, what will you do? What is there? I had an aunt who suddenly found she had cancer of the mouth. And you know what? I was working up north in Malaysia. I called her, I said, Mami Ma, how are you? And she said, Joy Re, I wasted my entire life. I said, why? You have brought up the children. Pratima is in America. Babu is in Pune. You've done so well. She said, no, but my life has no meaning. So don't let that happen. Find some minutes, sometimes in the 4 hours to do something that has value to you. Question number 2. If today were to be the last day in your life, would you want to do what you are oh, that's a mistake there. If today were the last day, would you do what you have been doing? That's a picture of me in a little Cessna aeroplane where I went in to see what is it to be a pilot. I had worked with someone who was promoting a lot of products, and he was trying to show how successful he was as an entrepreneur. So that's me in the plane, and I said, love life to make a change. You must love your life. If you don't love your life, you don't love your name, nobody else will. Okay? And so next question is, are you doing what you love? Most people say that I'm in this job because I got this job. I asked my students, once I asked my students who were doing insurance. You know, I was teaching English at that time, and I was teaching them insurance for English. And I said, how did you at 19 years come to do insurance? They said, no, my father decided I should do it. The same thing when I was teaching TESOL a few years ago, when I give them the proficiency test, they have like 2 on 10. They can't even speak. And I said, why do you want to teach English? He said, no, my mother said, if I teach English, I can work till I die. So don't live somebody else's dream. Are you doing what you love? So Warren Buffett says, tap dance to work. Do you get up in the morning and say, I'm excited about today. I say, oh my God, that same damn work again, right? I finished my PhD working on my own because I was excited about my topic. My topic was, why do people studying on their own? What motivates them? What is success to them? And I really wanted to find out, is it the number of A's you get, or is it because you want to finish? What is it? So that took me on my journey. So tap dance to work. So here is a little, let me see if this plays on. I want to show you, you might have seen this movie, very short, couple of minutes, Scent of a Woman, how even a blind man has the zest to live. Let's see, does it work? Put thumbs up if you can hear it. Can't hear?
No volume, Prof.
We can see the
No
video,
volume.
but it is not. We cannot hear it.
Yeah, I thought you could. He said, go to volume. So I thought I managed it, but looks like it is not. Never mind, you will skip it for now. Go back and watch that movie, Scent of a Woman, and you can see how he won an Oscar for this, an old movie, 1998, I'm not sure. Al Pacino, who was blind, who could dance perfectly. So maybe we will skip it. Okay. So 2 ways to live life. One is to live as though nothing is a miracle, and the other is to live life as though everything is a miracle. Have you had miracles in your life? When you think you're going to have an accident and you escape, and you say, no, I was just lucky. Oh, just lucky. No, I'm just lucky. Think of all the days when things were extraordinary. And to me, that's a miracle. You know, I've had miracles in my life. I once, when I was working in East Malaysia, in Sabah, I was going to a side road and I was on a bridge. Can you believe it? 2 tires of my car were on outside the bridge and 2 tires were on the bridge. I could have just toppled over, but right in front, there was a crane that just came over and lifted my car. So if that was not a miracle, I don't know what is. How am I doing for time, Shabana?
No.
You are good. Yeah.
Good? Okay, I'm nearly there. So I say that we have to live life as though it is a miracle. And in this, our great Oprah Winfrey, what does she say? She says that passion is energy. If you're passionate about something, you'll have the energy. We are passionate, so you got up at before 8 o'clock, dressed up and looking so beautiful to come here today, right? If you didn't want to, you would have said, what is this nonsense? I don't know who is this professor from Malaysia. What is he going to talk about? But you know, since Shabana said so, I'm coming. Right? So passion is energy. Feel the passion by focusing on what excites you. I should tell you that this December, I've been planning to go to the Antarctica with a whole group of 90 people. It's going to be the most expensive expedition of my life. I have to dig into whatever savings I have. But I said that, you know what? Whatever little money I have will go to somebody who might just not know how to use it. So I might as well blow it on myself. So I'm going to the Antarctica. I'll be photographing penguins, I hope. I bought one of the best cameras in the world, which is the GoPro, and I'm learning the GoPro today. So I'm doing this because I feel I want to do that. And perhaps the next time I'll go to the safari. So here we go, right? So for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to You have to get better. You say that, oh, things haven't changed, my salary is the same, my job is the same, my life is the same. I always say we have 3 million Bangladeshis in Malaysia. They gave up everything and they came here for things to change. And they are making 30 times more than what they would make in Bangladesh. Right? So I have a story of a fishing trip in Korea. So that's not me, of course, but I just got a picture there to excite you. Or maybe somebody else like Uday Bhan Mittal, right? Hi, sir. Okay. So you see what? You give me 2 minutes, I'll tell you the story. So we went fishing and I went with this Korean guy called Kim. So every time we fished, I said, wow, big fish, fantastic. He will get the big fish, I'll get a small fish. And then I look at him and I say, wow, barbecue tonight, right? He look at the fish, measure the fish, look at it, and then throw it into the river again. And I said, madman. I kept quiet. Next round again, after some time, I was dreaming, poof, he got another big fish, not so big, but quite big, this big. He looked at it. I said, put in your basket. He said, no good, no good. I said, what do you mean no good? It's more than a kilo. Poof, he threw it back into the river. Funny Koreans. I don't know. He's not from the north. He's from the south. It should be more normal. Then what happened? I said, one last chance. Why did I come? He catches big fish. I get small fellows. And he pull it up again. God. Bigger fish. He smiled at me. He said, surely no good. I said, madman. He threw it. I said, tell me why. You want a big fish? He said, madam, my frying pan only 6 inches. Why? 6 inches frying pan. So the big fish. Huh? Can you imagine? So you see, Chonal, you are laughing. We all got 6-inch frying pans in our house. By the way, that's a story I made up. Okay?
Okay.
Right. So throw away that 6-inch frying pan. We are trying to fit everything into that 6 inches. I hope you remember this story. We want things to change to fit our model, our lifestyle. Right? So in NLP, I've learned for things to change, you have to change. And flexibility is the key to success. If you're not flexible, impossible. My mother could not go to swim because she would wear a sari and go into the sea and the sari would pop up.
Right.
Right? Some people cannot sleep because their bed is not their bed. They go to a hotel, they cannot sleep because it's not their bed at home. So practice, sleep on the floor, sleep on the bench. When I was in Switzerland, I slept on the bench outside. Right? So it doesn't matter. So the more flexible you are, the more successful you will be. So I'm actually planning a one-day happiness workshop. I told them I wanted to announce the date, but I had to go to Germany to help my daughter. So that will be announced. If anybody is interested, do let me know. And my dream is to have a weekend or a 1 week getaway on my 3L workshop. I'm thinking of Bali, but you've got a place in India, I'd love to come. And we can do a 1 week workout on this area. I do hypnotherapy. I do hypnotic dance programs. I do crazy things. We can always do a joint thing. This is some takeaway for you guys. And I had a problem getting my PDF. This is one of my books. It's called You. It's a book on poetry. This is my ebook. It's called Quantum of Happiness. I don't know if Gopal is here now. He helped me design the cover. This is a book on poetry that I have dedicated to the women of Afghanistan. And if somebody knows how to promote this book, it's called Knowing and Not Knowing. I said that sometimes the night beckons and I know not why. So I'm quite happy about this book because one day at 5 o'clock in the morning, I had a line that came up to my head. I know and yet I don't know. And I said, why? And I wrote a whole book of poems, and I think I dedicated that to the women of Afghanistan. So if you ever know how we can promote this book or give it away, please let me know. And I have some other books as well, but I would say that I have another book which is called The Awakening, and it's about the power of self-belief. I'd like to stop my session here. I think I've spoken a lot. I don't know how I mean for time. Oops. It's 45 minutes actually, right? On the dot.
Hey, why the sound became less?
Yeah.
It
So,
could be Chandran I call and then the thing.
so can we mute Renuka? Is there? I hear her. Renuka, can you mute yourself? Yes. Okay. Shabana, over to you.
Yeah.
Can I
over to
stop
Prof.
sharing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyone is having any doubts, any questions, they can anytime ask ma'am. I want to say, ma'am, it was a very enlightening session. Initially, it started with laughter. It was fun, trust me. Today, I got to know the secret why we serve sweets. So, okay, so our grandparents were really smart. I'm going to use the endorphins now in my life as well.
Right.
But by the end of the session, I really feel, see, I'm an actor. I hear it every second day. Why you're doing this? Why you should have another profession? Then the whole world is after Salman Khan. It is Sonal Parihar. I feel that get married, get married. Those last questions, that if it is my last day of life, seriously, I'll die tomorrow. My husband would get married to another woman. I want to live my life right now. And that statement that what you are doing, you love it. Trust me, I am in love with my profession. So such sessions, like you said, that there was a quote that, if you are ready to learn, you'll find the teacher. This session for me was really enlightening. I know I love my profession. I am going to do it. And I'm sure that everyone must have found some or the other thing, that they are looking for some answer and all that. Thank you so much. It was an amazing session.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank. I didn't know what I would say. I was a bit stressed, and I made some notes in this book, but you never have time to look into notes, and I say, well, I would speak of whatever comes into my head, and I will just share because that's just me. That's just me. So I'm glad I have some people I don't know, like Pritam and Meena.
Yes. May I say something?
Yes, of course.
It was really, really laughing and wonderful session, and you put all the energy into it. And I really enjoyed this session. It's truly wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome. You made my day, Pritam.
You made my day.
Thank you. Wow, I see my good friend and lawyer and advocate, Renuka, the beautiful lady with the red hair. So did you manage to join the session? She's in her office, and I'm so glad. Yes, Renuka, did you join the session? Unmute, you have to unmute yourself. Unmute. Unmute. Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can. Okay, I managed to squeeze in somehow, but the little that I heard was good enough to make my day.
Really? Oh, I wish you had come earlier.
Yeah, because sometimes being an advocate, you won't know what comes up in the morning, phone calls. And then there was a phone call that actually disturbed the session. So I couldn't get back to it on the normal tone of, the voice
Yes,
was
I heard
fading
you.
and all that.
Yes.
But will
thank
this,
you.
can I see the session again on a later date or something like that?
Is there a recording?
Yes.
Shabana?
Or if it's a recording, I can hear the earlier part.
Yeah.
Thank you anyway. It's good.
Welcome. Huh.
Okay. Dr.
Okay.
Jayati, I would like to ask something from you.
Yes. Who? I can't see you. Who is this?
Yeah, this is Nupur.
Yes, Nupur.
Yes. I would like to ask you, because we are on Women Achiever Challenge, okay, Women Achievers, celebrating Women Achievers. So we want to know something about your biggest challenge and how did you overcome it?
I've had so many challenges. How can I tell you which is the biggest? Everyone is the biggest challenge in my life.
That's great. That's
Right.
great.
But one of my biggest challenges actually was how to educate my children properly in Malaysia and give them that education, which I know as an educationist in this country,
So not I come back. He
in
stayed in
the
the hotel with the guys.
that in the Malaysian context, they would not get anywhere. So you know what I did? This was my scheme. I applied in the university to study in
Wow.
America so that I could take my children away. That was 30 years ago. I mean, a master's in education, no big deal. You can do it anywhere. I already had a law degree from University of London. But you know what? I took up a course, or I applied for a course that was not available in any university in Malaya. It was called for specific purposes. ESP. That means English for law, English for sciences, English for technology. And you know what? They said, oh, we need this. We just don't need reading, writing, reading comprehension. We need ESP.
Yes.
So what happened? The highest committee in the university said, this lady has got so many degrees, never mind, give her. You know, being Indian is also difficult to get scholarships from Malay University. That's another thing. That's a political situation here. But then, after they gave it, they found out that I couldn't go to a local university. So what I did is I went to every university in Malaysia, and went to see the deans of the English department and said, I've got a scholarship. I would like to do English for specific purposes. And you know what the dean said? Jayati Roy, you put me in trouble. I cannot write to your university and say we don't have this. But I will write and say this is what we have. So they have, you know, masters in linguistics, masters in second language acquisition, blah, 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 philosophy, but not ESP. So I again went, by which time I had applied to go to US and to England, wherever they offered ESP. There was Aston in England, and there was Teachers College in New York, and there was Buffalo. And people told me, you want to go to Aston, England? You cannot leave your children. You have to come back. I said, no, England is out. New York, they said, you will die. Your children, they'll rip their coats off in the train stations. Don't go there. So where is it? Go to Buffalo. And I said, good, because then I can drive across and see my sister in Canada. So that's how I finally got the scholarship and took my children there. And today they all, one of them is in Chicago, and then another one moved to, got married and moved to Norway. But the youngest came here, and then now she's in Germany. But that was my biggest challenge, giving them an education overseas when, you know, I earned pittance in Malaysia, which was never be enough to educate 3 girls and pay the fees.
That was amazing journey. Another thing I want to ask you, how do you manage your work-life balance?
Okay. Work-life balance. Is there such a thing as work-life balance? Okay, work-life balance actually means balancing your professional life and your personal life, right? And your lifestyle.
Yes.
Right? So that has always been a challenge. And to me, I spent honestly the first part of my life with no work-life balance. So what happened is my family paid the price. I used to come home at 9 o'clock at night. That was my time to come home. But then on the phone, I would be giving instructions. I was lucky I had my mother. I had my mother, and because of my mother, she took care of everything. There was no work-life balance. And then I realized that I was burning my life up, that my life had no meaning. But I was so goal-oriented. I said, I must finish my Ph.D. I was given a scholarship by the Open University of UK. But they didn't say, come there, do it in Malaysia. So I had a full-time job. I had 3 children. I was head of department. And so what happened? But I managed to prioritize. I managed to prioritize certain things. So when I overdid certain things, I made it up in some other ways. So that took me into learning nutrition. And I found out, so because of that, I am now a nutritional coach. I do wellness coaching. I do hypnotherapy. I guide people actually on work-life balance. Because unless you have there will be imbalance in some way. And so work-life balance actually means some things, you know. You have to balance family. You have to balance your pleasure, your friends, your health, your work. How do you get into this juggling kind of mode? Which one is more? Which one is less? So that was always a big problem for me. But then I realized, where do I put my value? Is it my family or is it my work? So that has always been a challenge. Is it my work and not my health? So I went into naturopathy. So that's why, you know, a lot of people come to me for advice. I said, very easy. You take jeera and rice, you take coriander, you take methi for this, you know what? So I learned secrets of living because of the challenge of work-life balance. I also have a program on work-life balance. If you want me to speak on it someday, I will tell you how to achieve a work-life balance with 10 different points. And I'd love to share that with you, because unless there is work-life balance, you will be unbalanced. And I have, funnily, I have done a course and a master's in Feng Shui, which is Vastu Sastra. And Feng Shui and Vastu Sastra talks to you about your 5 elements of the yin and the yang. The 5 elements in your body, if they are unbalanced, then you will find, they say you got wind in your body, you have pain and all. So that kind of balance also comes into your body's balance. Having the right balance. Nupur, have I exhausted my time?
No, not at all. There's one last question for you. What important lessons of your life would you like to share with our audience?
What I would say is, love humanity, love people, do charity, help anybody you can. And I think the universe will give you back what you give without measuring. And I have got people who have helped me. Renuka here is a friend I happened to meet on a friendship platform. I think I have loved her as a person, as somebody who has reached out to me. She is not someone I've known all my life, but very recently. And I find that when you give to someone with all your heart and you don't measure, you will get manifold amount of returns. I tell people, you calculate with people, God calculates with you. You give somebody 10 rupees, you get back 10 rupees. You close your eyes and give more, you will get more. I'm not saying be like Donald Trump and give a tip of 1,000 US dollars. No. Where you feel you need to give without measuring, then you should do that.
True.
Yes. So that is it. You will get back in strange ways. Remember, I just spoke about the miracle. You will find miraculous things happening to you. And there's no logic to it, but it will happen. And that is the power of giving with love. Giving without, that's what in Hinduism we says nishkarma seva. Giving without measuring. Giving without measuring. So and that you must open-heartedly. We go to the temples and we buy archana 2 ringgit and we give, and then we get a coconut. What is 2 ringgit here? Nothing. They can't do a thing. But if you give, you say, no, this person deserves it, give it. And this is what I believe. When the Vice Chancellor hired me in a previous university, he took me up to his room in the penthouse. And he said, hey, Jay, you've done so many things. What is it about you that I should be very, very cognizant about? I said, sir, I am 100% honest.
Yes.
And he said, oh, we all are, we are all honest. I said, yes, but nobody is 100% honest in that, as far as I'm concerned, in my own values. So I looked out of his window and I said, can you see all the garbage in the campus? I said, I think that should be cleared up. He laughed. He said, yeah, we have a problem there. He said, yeah, so when can you start? He said. And, after some time, I had to help people clear up the garbage, get my students to clear the campus of garbage. So I think this is what I want to say is, the time in this world, there's so much corruption, there is so much greed. People want to be, have a great life for which they cheat people. At the end, in 3 minutes, you are gone. What is it worth? It's not worth anything. So this is my, a little philosophical. I'm no Guruji, but this is my deep philosophy. And I think I've stood up for it all the time.
Yes, you are. I would request other audience also, if they want to ask any questions, floor is open.
Yes, anybody wants to ask me anything?
This is just a comment from me, Jayati, as a moderator. I've seen you as a moderator and as a moderator for Rajwin and living with Rajwin and Warren, and as a good friend, as a mentor. You have been very, very. I follow your footsteps, and you are my role model.
Oh, thank you.
Just listening to the talk, stress has gone away.
So laugh a bit. You're a laughter guru. Laugh, laugh, laugh.
Live life the fullest and enjoy yourself. That is my takeaway for the audience. Do not say you are in pain and you cannot do things. You say you are good, you are awesome, you do things with laughter and joy, and everything will be fine. Take good care of yourself. Till next time.
Thank you, Rajwin. You stay strong. You stay strong. You are awesome. Anybody to share something with me?
Yeah, Prof, I like to say two things. Love is success. You have to love everything that we do, and that will give us a success end of the day. And that's what I learned today from you. Thank you very much.
Oh, I love you too. I love you too. Yes, Jag, you have to be strong, right? Yeah. Yes, we all have our challenges. We all have our challenges. I have had more challenges than you can all ever think about in my family, in my life. I have carried a burden. We all have in our own ways. I always say, if God gives you something, He takes away something else. He gives you health, He takes away, He doesn't give you money. He gives you money, He takes away your health. He gives you health and wealth and money. He does something with your children will let you down.
Yes,
Right?
very true.
Everything is there, then the country will let you down. Look at what's happening here, right? My daughter has a helper who is from Ukraine. She's left her mother and her children. She tells me, Madam, they may die any day. I cried with her. She cleans. I told my daughter, give her more money. Call her. You have the baby, you call her, use her. You imagine you leave your 2 children, they may be bombed and killed. An old mother. She told me, I said, you come, you cook, you do anything, Galina. She said, Madam, I can. No worries. You go home. I look after your daughter. Look at what's happening in Turkey. Everything you have. Natural disaster. We have no guarantees in our life. You are your own guarantee. That's what I tell everybody. Your own guarantee. I tell my students, your parents can pay your fees. They can give you your house. They can give you a holiday. They can give you everything. You have to enter the exam hall with your pen. That's all. Only you have yourself. Can you imagine if your son or daughter has pain? Can you feel the pain? You feel your pain in your heart.
Yes.
But they feel the physical pain. They feel the struggle. They are working day and night. Therefore, I say we go back to our own scriptures, our prayers, and ourselves. We are the custodians of everything we have learned in all our scriptures. So we should be we should be the model and the product of what we want to talk about. When I spoke about good health and weight management, I always said, you have to be the product of the product. You are fat and you teach people how to lose weight, no point. You lose weight first. So you want to teach about laughter, you must be happy yourself.
Right.
I can only talk to you because I believe in this 100%. And as a coach, a trainer, I do a lot of counseling as well for hypnotherapy, for phobia management, for anger management. And I said, I do this with confidence because I believe in it myself. I may not be 100% fantastic in it, but my belief takes me through to that. So Nupur, that's my contribution.
मैं एक शेर बोलना चाहता हूँ, किसी को इस जहां में मुकम्मल जहां नहीं मिलता, कहीं जमीन तो कहीं आसमान ही मिलता. As you said. Thank you, Dr. Jayanti. Thank you.
थोड़ा मालूम, बहुत नहीं. Okay,
thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I want to thank all the participants, everyone who attended to today's session. Like we all have seen, the session was not only for our mind, it actually touched our heart, it touched our soul. Thank you so much. And anyone who will be having any questions or want to discuss anything,
shall we take
put
a
that
picture? Rona, can we take a picture of everyone?
Of course.
Yeah, we should take a picture. Yes, who can take the picture? Jack, do you
I've
know?
taken a screenshot.